Good morning, fifth graders. Today is Monday, April 20th, and this is your introduction to our integrated science and English language arts unit. I'll have a video that I'll post at the beginning of every day that you can watch. You can read through all the articles at once if you want to. Every day is going to be structured kind of around three different ways. One is to watch a BrainPop video and record some information on our note-taking sheet. Then we're going to read a piece of expository text that's related to the topic for today and answer a question to practice our pre-reading, during reading, and post-reading strategies. And this is where we're really going to embed our English language arts work. So our work for these 2 weeks is going to focus on the planets. And the main skill they're wanting you to work on is being able to compare and contrast the inner and outer planets. And we're even I'm gonna ask you, I know you guys love art, at least I know 4 of you love art, so I'm gonna ask you to use your art skills one day and really create just a really beautiful model of the planets. So I have a NASA website on here. You're gonna need to go on and really explore what those planets look like. You can zoom down as if you're on a space shuttle and look at them in depth. And really make them very nicely done. And I've given some crayons and other art materials and things where you can do that. And then the final project that's going to be my main assessment, that and your Edge Elastic are going to be the main assessment at the end of your 2 weeks. It's going to be to create your own planet. And you have to actually use some of the criteria that we're going to be talking about. So based on what you know about inner and outer planets, if you were to design your own planet, would it be an inner planet or an outer planet? And what would it look like? What would its features be? What would its composition, its temperature, all those different things be? And that's going to be your main culminating project. So I want to kind of just go through the packet really quick so you can get a sense of what our learning is going to look like. We're going to start today. We'll do our introductory video, that's this, and I'll post it today on Canvas. The main thing we need to work on today is to complete your KWL. We're going to read Inner Planets, and we'll read that one together today. We won't read all of them together. And we're going to begin adding information to your chart, and that's so you can kind of see what the expectation is. So your KWL should take maybe 10 minutes. Our reading is going to take about 10 minutes. And our chart is going to take about 15. And so your skills we're working on today, the science skill we're working on, is each planet in the solar system has unique characteristics, and you can evaluate those characteristics of a planet as it relates to its sun, the moon, and the earth. So if it gives you different features, you have to be able to compare and contrast and evaluate, is it similar to the moon, similar to the earth, similar to the sun, or different? And then also determine if it describes a planet, is it talking about an inner planet or an outer planet? The key areas they're going to ask you to focus on are things like rotation, revolution, length of the day, length of the year, and then of course the composition and temperature, etc. All right, so I'm just going to kind of go through the packet where you can see what we're working on. Every day at the top, it has the date, and they just go in order. And it's going to even remind you of what leveled text or paired text you're going to be reading. It's going to remind you of your pre-reading and during reading strategies, and we'll model that today. These are listed at the bottom of your page or after wherever your article is listed. And I gave you the link where you can go to News ELA or readworks.org, depending on which one it is, and read them online. It also will read them out loud for you. If you'd prefer to listen to the articles, that's fine as well. Or you can read them with me on the video. Again, we'll read some of them some days, but not all of them. Then there's a question. After every reading, it's going to ask you to answer some sort of a question. And that's, again, what I'm going to be looking for your assessment, your completed packet, your diagram of the planets in our solar system, your completed project designing your own planet, and then your Edge Elastic assessment. Now here's your inner versus outer planets comparison chart. And it asks you to put all of the features, pretty much what I said, the key ones they're going to ask you to look at. Composition, or what your planet is made of. Unique features like its temperature, if it has moons, if it has rings, anything like that. The length of day or the rotation of the planet, and the length of the year of the revolution. If you want to draw a picture of your planet here, you're welcome to as well. So you're going to be coming back and forth to this chart throughout multiple days. And if you keep going, starting on Tuesday, whenever you read your paired text, your question is set up just like we've been working on in our other subject areas as an ERQ. And so it's going to ask you the question, ask you to create your DWB, and then turn that into complete sentences. And we're going to use the same rubric we use for all of our ERQs, which is that we're looking for a completed DWB, comprehensive answers in full sentences with vocabulary, and at least 15 quality words. Then I'm going to keep going through. When you get back here, it's going to give you details about your 2 projects. And you're welcome to be working on these throughout. Next Wednesday, it's going to ask you to create a diagram of the planets, and I'll post a rubric on Canvas for how I'm going to be assessing those. But like all of our rubrics, I've given you a checklist. This is going to be the exact same thing listed on the rubric with points attached to it. And then there's also our design a planet project. And you're going to have 3 things that I'm looking for, actually 4. 1, that you complete the pre-write, and I'll show you what that is now, so in case you want to start thinking about it. You're going to write a letter to a friend, and in language arts, we looked at a letter about voting this week, so you can use that as a good template to show you the format of a letter. We'll talk about the format of a letter too. You're going to draw a detailed diagram of your planet, which means words and labels, and you need to answer the following question. And I'm not going to go over all this now because you'll be able to go over right before the project. Now here are some additional pages, and I know they're kind of hard to read because they copy dark, but I'll post the originals on your Canvas when you get closer to this project. It marks out exactly everything you need to work on. So your first step, you have some planning pages, and you're just going to jot down your ideas in bulleted format. And then your second part is your letter, and it does give you detailed information, and there's a place for you to write your letter. Oh, it went through. So you can just cross those out. I may ask you actually because it went through on the copier. Sometimes when it copies, the ink goes through when you write on it. So I'll probably ask you to write this on a separate piece of paper. This will be a good place to write your rough draft. Then the last one is your drawing, and then answering your question on a separate piece of paper. And I gave you a piece of paper that you could do your drawing, but you're welcome to do your drawing on your own piece of paper as well. And I gave you some really nice big white drawing paper that you can use for your drawing. And then you'll need to answer your question. So this will be our next 2 weeks. This is building on what we already learned, thinking about the seasons and light in space. And then after we learn about the planets, next week or 2 weeks from now, we're going to be learning about the stars and specifically our sun. And that'll wrap up all of our space learning. We'll also be doing a little bit of stuff on asteroids and meteors, and we'll do some experiments next week as well. It's a little hard to do experiments with planets because you can't create a planet in your kitchen. The other thing you have attached is all your Read Works articles, and this includes the articles that are from our other leveled text. And I didn't include all the articles, but if you wanted to read, so I did include Saturn, Uranus, Venus, the day, how long is a day, and Jupiter and Pluto. But there's 3 other articles that if you'd like to read, you're welcome to read. And there's also a whole bunch of other resources and activities. So if you go to readworks.org and you type in Getting to Know the Planets, you can see all these articles online. And like I said, it will read them for you, and it has nice big colorful pictures. So if you'd rather read them online, I absolutely understand that as well. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause our video today. This was our introduction. And if everyone wants to, actually before I pause, if everyone can find their first page where it says April 20th, and I want you to take 10 minutes and jot down, and you can just do a bulleted list. What do I already think I know about the planets? So anything you already know. And I want you to come up with at least 3, hopefully more than 3. Never strive to do the bare minimum. 3 at least questions that you hope will be answered in your learning. So things that you don't already know about the planets. All right, I'm going to pause you here, and when you're ready, you can move on to the next video, which is going to be our lesson today, which is reading the leveled text in our planets.